It's the third day, I don't got a second in the first place. Ain't no second chances in my birthplace. You can't put a phoenix in the birdcage. Just that Hermes. Price great.
Hello everyone and welcome to my review of the K-Wagon. Now, today is actually a special review because we just got this like yesterday. Took us a couple days to get to tier 10. That tier 9 was a bit brutal in terms of gaining XP because there was just so much going on. But let's first check out these statistics before we get into the equipment. First of all, we have 225 turret armor. It is angled, so it's likely a lot higher, as a lot of the times your turret looks impenetrable to most targets. The sides is 70 and the rear is 37, so you actually would have to worry about hash. Now your hull armor, it is a pike nose, so you have 110 on the hull, which is not bad because of how angled and small it is. On your sides are 80 and your rear is 50, so you really do have to worry about HE all around when it comes to your rear and sides. But your sides are really flat and there's a lot of tracks, so it's unlikely that you get HE'd in the side compared to tanks like the AMX. Now let's check out the gun statistics. As you can see, I'm not maxed yet. But when you are maxed, you'll have 284 view range, 2001 damage per minute, which is pretty low. I'm not gonna lie. Now your auto reload time is what bugs me in this tank. And in the tier 9 tank, I actually liked it because the first shell was only 10.1 seconds when fully maxed. Now with this one, it's 11.2. It's almost as if they don't want you to rock out with one shell anymore because 11.2 won't cut it in tier 10. You'll be really hard pressed. So it's more. It's like they're pushing you to reload 2 shells over 1 because your second shell has the 8.7 second reload, which I don't mind, but it's most definitely a big switch up from what the tier 9 was. Now your aim time is 3.2, great accuracy. Your dispersion when maxed out will be 323, but I am not running. But when I get to max, I'll start running the calibrated shells, no the vertical stabilizer. Your average speed is 28, not that bad. It's actually quite a bit faster than the tier 9. Hull turn rate is 37. Turret turn rate is 34. And hull turn rate is 32. Your terrain crossing capacity is pretty low. Now, for the equipment, I'm just running the improved ventilation as of right now. I don't think I'll switch over to the calibrated shells. The pin is not the best, but it's not the worst either. It's actually one of the worst. But aim time right now is 3.5, but once I do get to maxed, I will be switching over to this just to get the dispersion under 0.3. Just running the normal stuff. You don't really have to run anything down here, but if you got credit to spare, you might as well max it all the way out. Now, I'm running the grilled salmon just to give you the enhanced damage per minute. And I'm also running this enhanced the sandbag armor because I like the health to be just a little bit higher. Consumables, I would say this is a mandatory. The gun is quite accurate, so you really don't need the vertical calibration, although if you are okay with the speed, you probably might want to. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's just hop into the gameplay. But first, with a few tips. If you are in this tank facing like TDs with high penetration, what you want to do with the turret is like aim it straight at them. Because if you look down and look around, it'll actually flatten out this plate, making it a lot easier to pin. But most tanks, even when it's all the way flat like that, still won't have the best angle. In other words, looking partly up would be your best bet to angle it even harder. Although most tanks won't really be able to pin that anyways. So let's get into a replay on this one. First off, we have a one on Dead Rail, and then one on Winter Melanaka. We're actually going to check out the Dead Rail one first, and then the Winter. Keep in mind on these replays, I'm about 79%, so I'm not all the way maxed out, but even when not maxed out, you're still a great threat. One more improvement from Tier 9 is you actually get decent penetration. The Tier 9's penetration, like 300 on the Heat Shell, that's medium tank level. But I understand why they'd want to give you a lot less penetration at the same time. Really? Now we're going to be starting off just going to the middle area. There's a tank just YOLOing around. We didn't fully reload the second shell, so now the third shell, so now we just get one penetration. If you were used to the auto reloading system, unlike me, I don't think I played. Yeah, I didn't play any of the Pantera line. Just didn't interest me at all. So it's still kind of new ground for me, this auto reloading system. Although I'm getting the hang of it. I'll say the Tier 8 in the line it's a bit of a weird one. It's not an auto reloader, so you don't get to have that experience at Tier 8, although I don't think it would be too good for you. When we try to put a snapshot into that bush, the grill is actually not going to be there. So we decide to push around, try to put some shots into the E75 and E100 that are giving IS4 some trouble. But on our way there, we do look over and the grill does get spotted. So we put a shell in. There's one. 3.5 second interclip. There's two. I believe that one went in as well. Now we're just chilling out here until we reload our second shell, and then we're gonna push in on the 100. I would say just always try to have two shells in the chamber, as opposed to pushing in with one in the Tier 10 tank. In the Tier 9, you might be tempted to rock out with one, and you actually could because your reload for 10.1, your reload for the first shell is 10.1, which actually isn't too bad, especially in a Tier 8 environment. In the Tier 10 game, it'll just cut it, but not something you want to have often. The E100 is pushing up on us. The object just ran away. I don't know why he didn't want to stick around. He's putting a shot into that grill. We do activate the super speed and backup just to show all our armor to the C100. We do put a nice heat shell in, then we push up to stop the E100 from getting over the hill. But then we notice the grill coming around the back. We pull a pro move and reverse it. No one's getting in on our back. Two tanks for one, and we ended on 3.3. Nearly 3,300 damage, although we did blind shot the grill, so we actually have 3,005, almost, no, 3,006, almost 700. Now, a second battle will be on Winter Melanaka, and this is still a game where we're around 75%. Not really too many games, but on the enemy team there is another Kranvagn. This guy seems to have bought the legendary camo for what reason I do not know. What are your guys' opinion though on those legendary camos? For me, they just seem to cost way too much gold to even be worth it for a simple cosmetic. As you can see, our reload is 12.1. We really aren't maxed, and that really does come back to bite us in the end of this game. I'm not going to spoil it though. We're pushing out to the heavy side. The enemy heavies seem to all be down inside the ditch, so we're just going to make a herd left and just try to get down into the middle area to put shots on them before our guys die, because they're really outnumbered. if all the enemy team are over there, which they are, they'll be getting much soon. So this Hori and I are just pushing out to the middle, still trying to get there. I'm telling you, this speed sometimes is ridiculous. But we see early on a T-92 just pushing up into town. Don't know what he's thinking. His shot actually goes right under us. We put our second shell in, 408. We're thinking about putting the HE shell in, but just settle for the AP. The Hori finishes him off. Now we're up to 2,256 damage. But even without being maxed out, the maximum reload time to reload an entire shell, an entire clip, worth around nearly 1,250 damage. It's still nearly 30 seconds. With the tier 9, it's just a little under 30 seconds, about 29.8 or so. But in that time, most other autoloaders would have already reloaded their entire clips, although they would have to really wait to unleash it all. But with you, on the other hand, it takes you almost 30 seconds to reload 3 shells, and they reload an entire clip at the time it takes you to reload 2. Now we're coming into the enemy K-Wagon. We are going to turn around and help out our Hori with this T-95. We don't want to get in the Hori's way, so we move out of the way. The guy's trying to use us as cover, but we're not going to let that happen. Now the enemy Bat Chat, the enemy T-92 are all going to be problems. Tanks with some mobility trying to get around places. But we do have a Hori, so who's been playing pretty well, so we're not too worried about it. We're waiting again for us to get 2 shells. We do get a max roll onto that T-30. And now we're going to just chill out and try to go fight this E-50. Although that would be a 2 shell, maybe even 3 shells to clear if we don't get a high roll. So we're just going to chill out and wait for a... Oh, actually, we don't. We blow the first shell. So now we're on a 12-second reload until we can finally reload and finish this guy off. Luckily, he doesn't turn in time, and our guys are dropping like flies. The enemy K-Wagon is putting in the work on. A T-92 ridiculously runs around the corner and gets one-shotted by the enemy T-92. We are about to reload our second shell, but then we have to blow it just to make sure the T-92 doesn't escape, which he was just about to. So now we're stuck trying to reload our second shell. Our STI is getting wrecked, and it's looking like a pretty long 1v1. Luckily, the Bat Chat runs into us, allowing us to finish him off. And now we just have a near full life K-Wagon, while we're like a 5 shot at least, or at most, while he's around an 8 shot. Now we're reloading our 3 shells, but it seems that in the time it takes us to reload 2, he's nearly has 3. So he must be running full team skills, full crew skills, as opposed to our 79%. So we're just waiting around, doing good player things. He's actually running both of the enhanced sandbags armor, which is a pretty weird move, I would have to say. We risk a shot right there, but we're not going to back down. We come around the corner, put one nice one in, get a decent tracking shot. He's shooting the heat for whatever reason. We go for the track again for a second track shot. He's just spamming the heat. We activate our engine boost just to give us a little bit of a movement advantage. We bait like we're coming around the corner, and we actually come around, shoot AP in again. He's actually stopped using heat by now. We're up to 6.3k damage, almost 7 actually. We're reloading our first shell right there, and he seems to be ready with 2 as opposed to our 1. just about to push. We finally have 2 shells, and he's likely looking for a full clip before moving in on us. We do see his advance, and we put 1 shell in. There's the max roll. A second one in. We don't actually get that to pin, and if we had got that, we'd have been so close to finishing him off. He actually bounces on that heat shell right there. We come around the corner, put 1 in, tried to get another track shot. We're now on 7.2k damage. And if we had pinned that 1 tracking shot right there, we'd have had enough to finish him off right here. We actually get sloppy and don't realize that we only have 1 APCR shell left, so it's stopping us from reloading another shell, although it really doesn't matter. We still have the heat loader. He comes around the corner and finishes us off. That 1 little track shot for no damage costed us the game. But we end that on 7,500 damage, nearly 7,006. Good buddy finishes with 6,025. I wonder if he got the mastery. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for him to have gotten that mastery at all. So we both pull up on rank 1s. 1,573 XP and 1,592. Both are rank 1, although. So I wonder what it actually takes to master the tank. So that's all for now. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, hurry up and grind this tank, and I'll see you next time.